Hello everyone and welcome to a new ServiceTonic video. In this video, we will explain the dashboard administration. We will learn how to create, modify, and manage all the options that the dashboard offers us. Let's remember that the dashboard is a dynamic screen that visually displays a summary of all the information about our service. To configure a dashboard like this, where panels appear with lists, graphs, trends, or even counters, we need to access Administration, Service, and then Control Panel. In this section, we can view three windows. The first, which we're currently in, is Elements. Here, we define the types of data we want to display in the final dashboard. By clicking on the Create button, we can add a new element by selecting the type we want to generate. In the case of elements, clicking the drop-down shows us list type elements, time type elements, which will display as a calendar, table graph elements, which quickly and visually show results, total type elements, which add up all tickets that meet the criteria, and finally SLA type elements, which shows the status information for each SLA defined. Each of these element types has its own customized configuration. As we can see, when selecting another type of element like totals, the properties change accordingly. Nevertheless, the lower sections remain, such as roles, which we add to allow access to view the element, translations of the element itself, criteria, to specify which tickets to view, and finally, fields to display. In the case of accessing element, in this section, we just need to take each field we want to display from the service desk and drag them to either service desk ticket fields or contact fields. Once we've defined the elements, we go to the panels window. In this section, we need to add all created elements to panels, as each panel can contain several elements that can later be dynamically selected in the dashboard. Just like elements, we differentiate between panel types and each has its own properties. We click on the Create button, and as we can see, we have list type panels, time, table graph, totals, and trend type panels. In this case, we recommend adding at least 2 elements since this panel shows the evolution of tickets over a defined period. Then we find stacked panels, which allow us to compare values within the element, such as visualizing tickets associated with a specific department and status. Finally, we have the SLA panel, where we should add all SLA type elements to get a detailed result for all defined SLAs. As I mentioned before, apart from each type's properties, there are general settings which, as we can see, are based on translations, roles, which grant access to view the panel, and finally the elements window, which displays a list of elements that we can add to the currently configured panel. Depending on the type of panel we're creating, different elements will appear. Lastly, don't forget about the checkbox in the upper right corner. When checked, it enables an additional window that allows us to add data from other system services. Very useful if we want a service dedicated to monitoring. In this case, we just need to click on the Services window and drag each service we want to display into the current panel. After defining the panels, we access the final section, the dashboard window. Here, we proceed with defining each dashboard we want to create, which will contain all the panels we have previously set up. We can edit an existing one or create a new one. Each one is based on the same roles window for viewing permissions, then translations, and finally the panels window, where we will add each one by dragging them in. We can also add new panels and rearrange them as needed. Additionally, within assigned panels, we can determine their width. For totals, like the panel shown here, We might set it to 25% or 33%. But in the case of stacked panels, for example, we could choose 100%, 75%, or 66%. This way, we can maximize the efficiency of our dashboard. Like I said before, we can also add new panels and rearrange them as needed. Finally, we just have to save the changes. And that's it. That's it for the dashboard administration video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to contact our support team through the usual channels. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.